Whoa, whoa, whoa. Always right there, though. You should fucked up. It should be 6 years. Man, it's been 6 years? Well, it's been 6 years, hasn't it? So maybe, she was killed, wasn't she? I suppose it's, I don't know. She's smart. Yeah, you just got nice skin. Oh. I'm just saying it could be a
Yes. I'll be playing that song again on Sunday. Said I'll be playing that song again on Sunday. Yes.
Dude, my sister is a beast, y'all. She's so dope. Look at Ron. You see out here like a superhero. I see you, bro. I see you, bro. She's loving it. She's loving it.
Diamonds. The Jewelry Exchange has 1-carat certified engagement rings for $26.90. The Jewelry Exchange. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, Rod. He likes Jenny, likes Ron's sister? That's all right. Come on, man. She is so Ron. Ron is like, man, this feels like, he's like the typical, like, new guy who, like, just doesn't realize what he has a problem, and he just fucks up, and it's like this girl, someway, like this girl is like working to somehow, I don't know, I feel like she's not really liking him. I feel like she's doing it for another cause, for another reason, right? I don't know yet, though. I don't know. I'm talking shit. You know me, y'all. Also, you've been really quiet this year. I really haven't got, like, we really don't get much talk. You know, that's because my folks, man, be working in the shadows. I'm sitting on top of the castle, with Ron and old girls kissing. I'm putting on some slick shit, not Ron. I'm putting on some slick shit. Whoa, what's that? Where they go? Let's go to this here. No, I got my phone. There you go. There you school with it though. What is that?
Dumbledore trusts the snake, therefore I will Dumbledore You're blinded by him. Yes, you are.
Tell me what's now. What's the power?
You can only place our trust in a handful of people. If we start fighting amongst ourselves, we're doomed.
Yeah, those other watchers. Oh yeah, this is the dude who turns to a wolf. And the one dude in the beginning, he turned to a rat. They didn't catch him, bro. He's still alert. So she came up and like, oh, get it, girl. What you trying to say, Jenny? Merry Christmas, Jenny. Hanging out with your hair all wet and shit. Oh, that's my boy. Yeah, so come get it. That's right, I don't know. Here come the deputy, girl. Here come the deputy. It's just crazy ass boy. Let's go. Yeah, we said too far. Yo, here you went right to the action though. And the fire just shut them out. They baited him. They just baited the shit out of him. Whoa! Y'all, shit. Y'all is in trouble now. Y'all can't fly like these guys. I flew my ass right back to the reason. Come on! Up there! This dude right here, he looks like he's fucking like a werewolf. Whoa! This guy? You just came up on it? Oh no, come on. I fuck with him at all. He don't even got it. I don't care about that, man. For real, bro. Jimmy been real, man. Jimmy been no real. Jimmy here and Jimmy meant to be together. So she been pretty good. What you been doing? Oh, hold on. Yeah, I was born. Damn, she just disappeared. What the hell? Dude, this is the luck he was talking about. This is good. This is awesome. He got the luck. The luck he needed. Oh my god, turn this fire up. It's getting a little chilly in this world. Yeah, if y'all know, it is. It's damn near November. It is. And it's damn sure it is. We live in Ohio, so well, I live in Ohio, so it's free. It's like 30 degrees out there. Okay. One more split. They both good. He might say some stuff that. He might say something.
That's life.
He
I
said that.
suppose you go along and then suddenly.
It's true. I am chosen. When I can destroy them, but in order to do so, I need to know what horrible obstacle all those years ago in your office, and I need to know what it's told. Be brave.
Man, straight up being the chosen. He is the chosen. Hell yeah, be brave. Your favorite people. You would be good, right?
Always will remain there.
Damn, Harry's bigger than that. Talk that talk, Harry. Hell yeah. Come on, Pronghorn. Come on. Come on, man. Go ahead. Hold his head. Go ahead. Come on, man. Tell him. Go, boy, you about nine. That is so funny, though, that they can do that, man. But that is so cool. How did he, like Dumbledore said, he was somehow doing something with his memory, so shit. Let's see, here we go. What you been waiting for, y'all? Come on. What did he say?
Woke up because I think the person was concealed. Yes, sir.
Whoa.
But I don't understand how that works. Also, you have been taken to be attached to your body destroyed. Protected.
Malfoy did that! Oh my god! Malfoy knew that when he was. Professor Snape killed him, but never mind. But damn! He is crazy as hell. Even at that damn age, he was crazy as hell. Look at it. Well, he was crazy even when Dumbledore got him. Even when Dumbledore got him out of there, he was crazy. So what does that mean that Voldemort has like 7 lives or something? He can't die? I don't know, because they say he can't. The body form that. What? Like his soul is still. So he is like, cat and shit? I got 7 lives on him? My man, I heard like some really teenage witch cat. What was that cat named? Tiny? Harry ain't doing that. He ain't doing that. Nope, going out. What are you after this? Cat. Rest in peace, Takeoff. That's what I just thought about when Takeoff sitting at the Breakfast Club. Cat. Harry ain't doing that. I know we've been having this Dumbledore for a couple of movies now. I don't know how many movies took some of the information. He actually, he's great. He's accurate information. I love it. The first one was great too, though. I didn't know how to like this one, but I love it both. He does a great job. They go through it. You know, little tricky in there. Fly over there. If you think, you know, Terry, grab your arm. You can grab your arm. Over there. What happened? God damn, You're trying to put us like a minute, man. It's kind of 150 in here. We all said. Ain't no way y'all do 50, man. That'd be crazy. You gotta do 50, man. Yeah, that ain't great. Yeah, here, I just think I gotta go like that. You gotta drink all of it? That is nuts. Oh my god. It's like he's just down driving. Is it filming? Is that the shadow or is this the what is his age like? Keep running, man. Don't sit me running. Keep running. What's going on? Back. He's back. Back. What the hell? He can't move it. What's going on? No. Where'd Dumbledore go? Where did he just go? Anybody getting that nasty ass water? I don't want to be drinking that water, bro. I don't know if that's true. Oh my god, what the fuck are these things? Oh my goodness, no. Oh my god. It's too many. Too many. What are we doing? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Oh, man, it's kissing on your neck. You're gonna hit the stone in there. I want him. This skinny ass. Break his arm off. Whoa. What the hell is that? Who is that? Who is that? Let's go. Let's go. Show me your power. Let's go. This better than me, man. Look at him. There's a fire over there. Oh, wait. Is he letting Voldemort in? He let them in. They got inside. Wow. That's how you did it. That's what that meant, the apple. When you said the apple there, the apple was bitten from the other side. So oh my, that's how they got in. They beat the barrier. Holy shit.
Don't you understand? I have to do this. I have to kill you.
Oh my god, man. What the heck? What is the... Hold on. The Professor Snape with you or not? What's going on? The people of the dark side, I don't know. I'm so confused. As Professor Snape, he made that vow though. He made that vow. I'm about to pick up that. Oh my god. Professor Snape did it, man. But I'm like, man, I'm fucking ready to fucking. I'm about to get it. Almost balled up and fucking scared up. I can't. I don't believe the first thing. I feel like he was getting in the area. If he first thing put his hand or something, maybe it was something like that. I don't know. I feel like he would have did it, but he didn't.
Fight back! You coward, fight back!
honestly, I thought he was like, playing the look again, and even when I got someone go back, he was really like, hell yeah, squad, baby. The trio's coming with. Come on. Yes, you do. You need them. You need them. You need these two. Y'all trio. Y'all trio got fought. It's not there. It's crazy. This is nuts, man. This is a new headmaster. Is that the one point that he did? The Phoenix? Whatever it's called? Let's talk about it, man. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of the movie? That Blood Prince? I feel like as far as you go into movies sometimes, you know, like the shit that happened, like, I mean, I kind of feel like it's anything like the things you really even know, but it's like you have to lose someone that's according to the story, man. But I don't know, man. Like, I'm gonna be quite honest with y'all. I gotta give a fuck. You all would do this shit. My camera was weird, little backdrop and everything. It overheated a couple times, so when those couple times it overheated, you know, I had to wait, you know, obviously, you know, but we had to start the recording again. But that last moment, they stopped right before the professor, I don't forget her name, and she throws her hand up, you know, like a sickness, you know, the memory flushes up to everybody else follows suit. It hit me different because it overheated right at that moment, and I had to like just pause and I paused, but I ain't gonna lie, I dropped some fucking tears. It fucked me up. Like, I don't really take the time, like, in these movies, I be watching it, like, you don't really know how you gonna feel. And it's like, you know how, like, attached sometimes you are to these characters. And it's wild as hell, I've never really feeling that, like, you have that, feeling, but you don't know how, it's weird as the story, how you gonna feel.
I thought I was a goner just now. Thanks for the help. And if you need any supplies, I have a... Yes? Take a look. All right then. Yes? inside it.
Somebody help!
I've suffered worse than training.
The Emperor!
Let the best you can do. Die, dog. from me.
They're trespassing here. Be on your way. We'd better clear out.
Well, one of us has to do something.
I said no. No adventures, no theatrics, no thief chasing.
Well, what are you going to do then, huh? Let's hear it.
We are done talking about
I
this.
heard shopping at Rapid brings you cash back on
Customer.
top of holiday deal.
Sorry, you had to hear that.
That can't possibly.
Rockstar Games has huge problems right now, all because of GTA Online. For two main reasons. First of all, profits from GTA 5 and GTA Online dropped significantly in the last quarter, which is important, but not as important as second reason. It really looks like
I don't
someone
know what
has
you
a source
overheard,
code
but
for GTA 5.
some may
Yet
call
the
this
label
junk.
received another
Me, I
proof,
call them
which is a
treasure.
significant one. Anyway, let's begin with financial results. As you probably already know, GTA 5 from Take-Two, GTA 5 sold only around 1 million copies in the last financial quarter, which is a good result for such an old game. But in previous quarters, they were selling 5 million copies each time. But there is even more. Take a look at this data collected by Derek Strickland from leakdown.com. It shows quarterly revenues from Grand Theft Auto franchise in general. So not only GTA 5 and GTA Online, but also GTA 4 and GTA the Trilogy, the Definitive Edition. Anyway, in the second quarter of financial year 2023, and yes, financial years and regular years are different, Rockstar made a revenue of $152 million out of GTA franchise, which is a lot again. But look at the previous quarters. First quarter, $200 million. Quarter 4 of 2022, $251 million. And $310 million
As if things weren't
in the
bad
third
enough.
quarter of 2022. So this result is the lowest result since pandemic has begun. But you might say, well, maybe that difference is because GTA 5 sold much less copies in this quarter. Well, not really. Because again, according to Derek Stickland, Grand Theft Auto Trilogy Remaster Collection sold around 4 million copies last quarter. He's actually taking data from Take-Two's report for the investors, and they are not specifying this. So maybe this number also includes legacy games like GTA 4, but it's definitely not GTA 5. So they sold less GTA 5 in last quarter, but more of GTA 4 and GTA 3.
Ain't every day we get visitors in Riverwood.
Significantly. So what it tells us? Well, only conclusions that I can make is that GTA Online is bringing less money, which is interesting because we received an update in GTA Online during the second quarter.
That doesn't sound like my nephew at all. I doubt he'd be mixed up with the likes of you.
You'll see, yes, it's not the biggest update ever, but it still should have
Dragon?
sharp
In Helgen? That explains what I saw earlier. Flying down the valley from the south. I was hoping I was wrong about what I thought it was.
And it's a really dangerous tendency for Rockstar games, considering the fact that
you're right. I saw it. Didn't want to believe my own eyes. A dragon in Skyrim. What's this world coming to? First the war, now dragons. Trouble loves company, they say. The Jarl needs to know if there's a dragon on the loose. Riverwood is defenseless. We need to get word to Jarl Balgruuf and Whiterun to send whatever soldiers he can. If we do that for me, I'll give him the death.
This is quote from Velvana, and later he explains the situation.
Take what you need.
Providing
Like I said, I'm glad to help in any way I can. Help yourself to whatever you need.
This is not the
within
game's
reason.
full source code, but it does contain a vast documentation of the game's back-end system, explanations of its functions, and accompanying parameters,
Until next time.
including developer notes. Keep in mind, these are the extracts from GTA 5 source code. The leak was controlled in a sense that only some bits and pieces of the source were included in the GitHub repository. It does unfortunately include cheat detection functions that Rockstar uses to detect cheating behavior. This one is really important. And then he continues, but it is a direct confirmation of the fact that third party is in possession of the game's entire source. There
I guess you don't have potatoes in your ears after all. Just make sure we get fresh batches.
Remember how few months
Come on in, just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out.
Hacker stole a lot of
You're that
data
visitor
from
been
Rockstar,
poking around.
including
What does this look like, the Temple of Mara? No gold, no
GTA
bed.
6, but also he was claiming that he has the full entire source code for GTA 5 and was trying to sell it. Then he got arrested, but now it seems like someone really has a source code for GTA 5. But what
The
would
corn
it mean?
stores
Well,
are
if
getting
it's
low
true,
again,
it's gonna be much harder for Rockstar to fight with cheaters and mostly new users in GTA Online. And now you're probably laughing really hard, like, what kind of fight with the cheaters and mostly new users are you talking about? There is no fight at all. Rockstar is doing nothing, ignoring this problem completely. And yes, it looks like that, but actually Rockstar has some sort of anti-cheat system. In that they use it mostly to detect people who are making a lot of money, boosting accounts, not against people who are making explosions and trolling other players. They don't really care about this part. But cheating money is a big no. It's only a thing that Rockstar cares about, unfortunately. Anyways, there is something more interesting about this situation. Remember around a month ago,
You're that
Rockstar
visitor
released a
been
patch
poking
for
around.
GTA 5, and according to this,
Faendal thinks he can woo Camilla
around
Valerius away from me.
95%
She's already
of
mine,
the
I can tell you.
anti-cheat measures in GTA Online, and he was super surprised, just like everyone. But everyone was surprised.
Craft a well-worded letter about why they're doing it so that the family knows that the person is safe. They just need. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Shapeless Skyrim. My name is Tori.
My name is Tyler. Today we are going to be looking at 3 mods, one of which is going to take the whole episode, kind of. We're gonna treat this like a larger showcase for mod number 1, and we're in solitude because mod number 1 is called the Bardic Arts, and this is actually suggested by Randy Batfleck, and this is.
That's a good name.
We all loved Batfleck. We all
Love me a randy little Batfleck. Now, Tyler, look, I know you, a true bard player through and through in Skyrim. It was your favorite class to roll as. You were deep in the Bard's College, spent a lot of time here, but we're going to change it up.
I've literally never stepped foot in this building.
Now, there is a ton to this mod, Tyler, so you want me to just look around here and give you some time to explain?
Yeah, so what this is going to do is it is going to greatly expand what the Bard's College actually represents and what you can do with it. So, the first thing you are going to get is, once you join the Bard's College, you're going to get a book, I believe. What is that book called, Tori, that kind of walks you through the mod?
Yeah, it's called the Student's Guide. You can actually read it whenever you'd like to. It's just in the upstairs study room. And this is going to give you pretty much everything you need to know. It's going to give you an introduction, and it's going to break down all the different things added in this. Authorship, commissions, it's very well laid out. It's a great book, and you are going to be referencing it a lot, but it's also extremely long and detailed. So, if you download this mod, read that for yourself.
Yeah, so it just kind of goes over everything that you can now do within the Bard's College. So you have this new museum, kind of, that has all of these different relics that you can look at. There's inscriptions that you can be reading. There is every single library book that's ever existed in the Elder Scrolls. Every single book is in here, not just Skyrim books, like Oblivion, Morrowind books, all of them.
God damn.
You can buy some unique merchant-exclusive items. You can play the loot, like, they specify it's like semi-functional, okay? Like, don't expect like a Guitar Hero. Like, you're not going to be able to do that. But you can do that animation. There is crafting stations, which you can craft poems at. After doing some bardic adventures, you get some bardic inspiration. It's a material that enemies might drop. You might find it through exploring the world. And then with that bardic inspiration, you can craft poems with it, which is very cool.
Yeah, super sick.
Now, you will also make money off of those poems because once you make them, you get these like licenses of sales that can act as like a new economic system essentially, and it comes with a commissions chest that you open that respawns every 10 days based on the amount of poems and stories that you've written from your adventures, which is a really cool concept because I never touched the Bardic College because I'm like, what is there to do? It doesn't give me anything. It doesn't do anything.
Right, it's like, oh, you just want me to go do more Skyrim shit in dungeons? But, like, this makes it like a whole new questline faction. Like, there's a whole ecosystem going on now at the Bard's College.
Yeah, there's an infinite number of possibilities now, and especially with that bardic inspiration. Like, if you really want to roll as, like, someone who's going around the continent and, like, having new experiences, and that book right there is where you'll start. So if you head over to that book, you'll see a little bit of what we're talking about with this bardic inspiration.
Awesome. Workstation? Yeah, and then right in here, you have all kinds of stuff. So if you're doing a commission where you have to write a letter, you craft it here. You need a roll of paper, an inkwell, and 3 bardic inspiration. Because your writing, your art, comes from inspiration, which they have created by making it a physical piece of crafting material that you get from going on adventures. You can get them off bosses, you can get them at unique places in the world, places that you have to really adventure to get to. I think it's a really, really cool way to go about doing that.
That book is especially important as well. Ooh, I'll bring it there. So Tori, read that book.
Oh, it's a consumable.
Yes, the book is a consumable. So if you go over to your powers, you can equip Setup Bar Journal. And now,
what's the worst place I could do this? How about right here? Hit the shout button. Ah, beautiful. Now there's my book. My beautiful floating book.
So now, put it on the ledge right now, just so we can see what it does.
All right.
So, use that, and it is a mobile way to craft those stories. So you don't have to come all the way back to the Bard's College in order to do it. You can just write it on the road. If you find some Bard's inspiration somewhere, kind of go to Tsushima, like sit down in a nice area, craft your stories.
Inspiration comes at any moment. You never know when you're going to just all of a sudden be on fire. I imagine J.K. Rowling was probably out on a hike and was like, oh, fuck, there's a wizard boy. I need to write this immediately.
Who knows where she was when she thought of that wizard boy. But it can happen anyhow.
So, the conditions that we're talking about, sort of, mini quests that allow you to keep engaging with this. It's also found up here in the study room upstairs. And I already have taken one of them here, but it's simple stuff like this. Like someone's commissioning you to conduct research like, on your genealogy of your family. Maybe someone is running away from home and they need you to craft a well-worded letter about why they're doing it so that the family knows that the person is safe. They just needed to go off on their own. It's interesting stuff like that you do with bardic inspiration.
I'm sorry, what? Read the inspiration.
Okay.
Oh man, it's not even real piss. Lame. Take it anyway.
Still gets me drunk, right?
Maybe. I don't have a museum and you're just taking everything. You are
it's rightfully mine. Okay, Minerva, you should have stuff. Fuck, you don't have stuff.
No, so we're running into this problem, and it is noted in the mod description as well, that Minerva is the merchant where you get the unique items from. Sometimes she just doesn't sell them at all. Like, the menu just doesn't come up.
Yeah, in our case, that's been happening the entire time. I haven't been able to buy anything from it.
So that is a bug we've encountered. So maybe in your playthrough it'll work. It's hard because, like, the mod is otherwise extremely, like, fleshed out. It's just, this is a major issue because otherwise you can't get to any of the unique things.
Well, you know where she is, so hopefully it'll work in your game. I don't know why it's not working in our game. All of this new stuff is making me want to get some of that bardic inspiration. So do you think we should go out and do some vagabonding, some ragamuffining,
some light adventuring?
Light adventuring, if you will. Light adventure play. Would you like to?
Yeah, let's see if we can come up with some inspiration for a story for Jan.
And you're a dragon.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hi,
That's a legendary dragon.
A jester,
Sure
funny
is.
suit and all. Just
Ow,
north
yum.
of the glorious
Oh,
farm.
fuck.
Fool had a coffin and a cart with a broken wood. Like to see him
I found
laugh his
another
way out of
mod.
that.
This would be leading us into mod number 2, which is called Sacrificial.
Hello there,
Maidens.
fellow traveler.
Oh,
Skyrim
Jesus
session.
Christ. This is the worst possible time to showcase.
Tori, get rid of the dragon! Fine! Don't let our maiden die! What this does, so the people of Skyrim have been deciding, hey, the dragons are attacking, maybe we can fix this. How about we sacrifice some people to the dragon?
Yeah.
So at every one of those dragon resting places, or dragon graveyard, there is a sacrifice. Yeah, just kind of strung up for the dragon to take, and you can go and save them all.
So she would have been dangling here, just really crucified on this bad boy. But
knocked her loose, all you have to do is come up and click X on them, and they're gonna come right loose there. They can be followers if you want. Run north to Windhelm. Great. Now she's on her way.
Halt.
There, you have saved.
City's closed with the dragons
saved
about.
the maiden. Now let's go see that
Official
dragon you
business
killed.
only.
Oh, 5 bardic inspiration. Nice. Any proof.
Fine.
Any proof.
we'll
If you
be
string this
keeping an
along
eye
with the bardic arts, you know, you can do almost this hero story role where it's like you're a bard that's noticed that the people of Skyrim have made these sacrifices and you can go save them all because, you know, you're also dragonborn and you know it's not bad. You know that's not going to do shit. And it gives you some bardic inspiration and a cool new, like, hey, you can go back to these dragon resting places and there's something to it. There's some extra lore to it.
Yeah, some more stuff to do. It's a great mod. Bardic Arts is a great mod to implement from the start of the game. I'm learning. All right, let's go save
We'll
some
pay
more
whatever it takes. We must have more swords
Yeah,
for the
there. Now you see the run. Try to get the Fulcrum.
Imperial soldiers.
I just can't fill in the
Sorry, I feel like
on my
I feel like you should have taken care of the dragon. I feel like your order of operations there was all fucked up.
Well, you never know when he's going to land, but yeah, I guess that makes sense because he could just instantly kill her.
Yeah. It seems like you only freed her and be like, get out of here, but then take care of the enemy. Run!
Alright, I'll get the door. Done. Now run. Please run. Dear God, please go.
Fucking
Where are
go.
you? Stop trying to do parkour. Just run.
Just run. Be an efficient runner. She went into the cave? What cave is that? Bone Chief. Oh, she's dead. Oh, she's dead. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do there. We did our best. Let's see if we can save a different life, because that was pointless.
Damn it. I was too heroic in testing, Tyler. I released all of the maidens.
Save the maidens for the rest of us. Jesus.
Sorry. Uh-oh, Tyler. Something else is happening. Tyler, a mod's happening.
A mod is happening.
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Shit,
sorry.
Fuck. Okay.
Mod number 3 is called Alternative Dragon Death Animation. And once he's done with this... Oh, yeah.
Making a meal of this one, isn't he?
Oh, he's dramatic as hell.
There's a whole song and dance with this boy.
I'm telling you,
Well,
I heard
funny you speak of song and dance. Tori,
those
roll the music.
werewolf tales are true.
Cyan. Yes, this is the Cyan 49 mod of the week. Now what this does is every dragon you kill, there's a 50% chance of it having Alduin's death animation. And if you didn't know Alduin died at the end of Skyrim, come on. We shouldn't have to do spoiler warnings for this. It's been 11 years. I love Cyan's description because Cyan just says, like, you could test this until I decide whether or not to include this in my mod options. Like, it's not bad, but it's not good.
I have to listen.
Yeah, I feel that it works. It's a little goofy, though, because he dances around for so long.
What
I
would you
can
have
see
me
why
do?
Cyan
What's
might
the
be like,
meaning
of this
"Eh,
interruption?
It works, but maybe fuck this.
is
Like,
not receiving
it's,
visitors.
I think it's up the death.
Well, explains why the guards let you in.
I think it fits
Come on,
with,
then.
like, there's
Y'all
something,
know
because at that point, you're absorbing their soul, and when they do that dance while you're absorbing their soul, it just looks cooler, you know? Like, it looks like there's more of a thing happening
You
than
saw
them just
this
going
dragon with your own
around
eyes?
the GTA 5 ragdoll.
Really?
Tori, we need to
You're
save at least
certainly
one more mate.
forthright
We need to save
about
at
your
least
criminal past. But it's none of my concern who the Imperials want to execute, especially now. What I want to know is what exactly happened at Helgen. Irileth was right. What do you say now, Apprentice? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, you should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. That dragon is lurking in the mountains.
The Jarl of Falkirk will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him.
This fall, we
should not
death on his
stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people.
Musk said October 10th.
Irileth,
He expressed,
send a
I
detachment
expressed my
to Riverwood
concern
at
about a
once.
recent tweet, which I think he took to heart.
Yes, my young.
Well, I guess he didn't
If you'll
take it to
excuse
heart
me,
at all.
I'll return to my duties. That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service, and I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Faringar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
I'm not asking you to do. There was a separate bill too. You know, the bill that would give the workers what they wanted. They wanted just measly 4 days of sick leave. But the legislation, the separate legislation, was a little more generous, 7 days of sick leave. One of them passed, one of them didn't. Can you guess which? Now, the proposal for 7 days of sick leave failed. Wow, what a shocker. To pick up enough Republican support to overcome a 60-vote threshold set for adopting the measure and fell 52 to 43. Now, my prediction yesterday in regard to people like Josh Hawley, a Republican, turned out to be wrong, but Josh Hawley very likely knew that this legislation wasn't going to pass. So let me give you the details. 6 Republicans voted for the sick leave measures. Senators Mike Braun, Ted Cruz, Lindsey Graham, Josh Hawley, John Kennedy, and Marco Rubio. Get a load of this, though. Senator Joe Manchin is the worst person in Congress. He's the only Democrat to vote against it.
So they always tell us, oh, but it's better that Manchin's a Democrat than a Republican.
Apparently not.
He's apparently more right-wing than the Republicans. So there you go. Congratulations, Democratic leadership, for keeping him in the fold. That worked out brilliantly.
Okay, so let's pause, because I want to discuss. I actually want to discuss the House first, because that's where I believe the problem began. And part of the problem, and what enrages me beyond words at this point, is that the Congressional Progressive Caucus went along with this maneuver when I also believe that corporate Democrats knew full well that the bill to give the workers the sick leave that they desperately need and want was going to fail in the Senate, okay? They could have voted on one piece of legislation, right? Think about that. One piece of legislation that both prevents the workers from striking, I guess, right? Because that's what the goal here is. They don't want the economy to shut down. They don't want to lose $2 billion a day as a result of a strike. But the bill should have included the sick leave. And so, why did they separate it, Jake? Why do you think it was separated into 2 separate pieces of legislation? Why do you think that happened?
Yeah. So here's why it happened. Theoretically, conservative Democrats put pressure on leadership, but that's nonsense. They don't have to put pressure on leadership.
It seems this damn
leadership is already very
project? The Jarl can be
so
found in the Great Hall, probably sitting on his Jarl's throne, not over here in a wizard's laboratory.
Faringar, I think I found someone who can help you with your dragon project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be referring to my research into the dragons. Yes, I could use someone to fetch something for me. Well, when I say fetch, I really mean delve into a dangerous ruin in search of an ancient stone tablet that may or may not actually be there.
While the Democrats take the blame, but either way, the donors that gave you money...
no mere brute mercenary, but a thinker. Perhaps even a scholar? You see, when the stories of dragons began to circulate, many dismissed them as mere fantasies, rumors, impossibilities. One sure mark of a fool is to dismiss anything that falls outside his experience as being impossible. But I began to search for information. Where were they coming from?
He does not care about ensuring that workers get paid sick leave. And by the way, I mean, if there were a prevalence of economic populists in the Republican Party, we would have no difficulty passing, mandatory family leave. Something that we still don't have in this country.
I learned of a certain stone tablet said to be housed in Bleak Falls Barrow. A dragon stone said to contain a map of dragon burial sites. Go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to me. Simplicity itself.
But all of this, you're right, Jake. The strategy by the...
if you've got the aptitude,
Republican who voted in favor of providing the paid time off. It's genius.
We need it
Yeah,
quickly,
Genius.
before it's too late.
By the way, guys, just so you know, the Republicans talk to their colleagues. They know for a fact it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
It's not like they all go to the vote
You see
without
those warriors from Hammerfell?
right?
They've got
So,
curved
and they
swords.
have a certain amount of Republicans sitting there and raise their hand and go, I would like to pretend to be a populist. And they go, oh, okay, sure, you can pretend because we're going to win this vote, right? And then they, by the way, the Democrats do the same thing. They tell Team Jeffries, yeah, you guys can all pretend to be populists. And on the Senate, we're all pretending, other than Manchin, to be in favor of the American worker. We all know we're going to lose. So don't worry about it. And mainstream media, you know there are dogs, right? So they will unquestioningly report the Democrats, oh man, they've tried so hard. But golly gee, for the 1,000,000th time in a row, there was nothing they could do.
I mean, we should, eventually, maybe you guys do it tomorrow, there should be a comparative analysis on independent media headlines on this vote versus how the corporate media headlines are written. Because from what I've already seen today, it's avert a strike, avert a strike, avert a strike, right? It's a good thing. It's positive. The legislation will prevent the strike from happening. Avert the strike.
It took me weeks to find that thieves den. I can't stop now, and I can't get the sword on my own.
To force
So you're willing to starve your wife and daughter to reclaim some rusty old sword?
Yes, one, maybe two good men.
I mean, it is true. And we're talking about a monopolized industry that intentionally cut its workforce to the tune of 20% since 2018. Why do you think they did that? They did that to maximize their profits, spend as little as possible on labor, maximize profits, so they can do the corporate stock buybacks, so they can do the dividends for their shareholders. That's all that matters to them. That's how
They say the college has been snooping around
Anyone
Sawthorpe.
believes that Congress, especially Republican senators who are buying individual stocks themselves, who certainly do not want to see their stock portfolios suffer from a strike, but also they don't want their stock portfolios to suffer from corporations not maximizing their profits, right? So they always enable the corporate greed over and over and over again. This is how it's done. Most people can't see through this garbage. I gotta be honest, I'm real sick. This has happened multiple times at this point. I'm real sick of AOC in particular. Like, one day on Twitter, say, I'm looking out for labor, it's unreasonable, we can't vote to prevent them from striking, they deserve to take days off. Next day, she agrees to vote yes on the legislation that basically intervenes preventing them from striking. But then the next day, exactly. There's always an excuse. It's always like high-minded, three-dimensional chess, except you got played. Do you not see that?
Oh, wait, but look, this is just factual. So, and so, look.
The most magical show.
You're like, oh, our dear leader, he has literally never bowled anything but a strike. Then in a couple of days, he moved the polls 23 points.
Okay, people are going to disagree with me. It's okay. You can disagree with me, you can call me names, but I'm going to stick to this point because I believe in it. In an ideal world, Donald Trump fails in his bid to become president again. And there's no chance. He'll never be president again. But he's back on Twitter as the country's top insult comic. And he's not threatening anymore because he's going to have more political power. No, I'm saying in a perfect world.
Can still result in damage. It's one thing when he's insulting Mitch McConnell. Then it gets a little more damaging. But sure, if he was just attacking Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan or whatever, and Cruz, fine, I'll take that.
It's so tasty when he does for Republicans, like Chris Christie, Romney. I don't care. Any Republican, do it, go for it.
Yeah.
Trump again claimed that he had never heard of Nick Fuentes, which I don't buy for a second. I had no idea what his views were. By the way, he still hasn't condemned Nick Fuentes' views. How about do that?
Yeah.
And they weren't expressed at the table in our very quick dinner, or wouldn't have been expected.
Very good. quick.
Maybe the impact is chocolate cake.
When it comes to chocolate
I wouldn't be
cake,
offended if it was chocolate cake.
everything has to say chocolate cake in front of that word.
By the way,
Because he wrote this.
no, we made it. I want to thank him for sending a message and for shredding the already transparently ridiculous argument provided by his team as to supposedly why he was more. So, if I can,
Yes?
the reason they gave, and this is amazing, who says right-wingers can't do comedy, was that
They're getting really good at comedy, and we're getting
they said he didn't want to criticize Nick Fuentes more because Trump likes to avoid confrontation. Come on!
There was also a story by NBC claiming that the whole thing was a set to make Trump mad. They were really trolling Trump.
Well, supposedly the Milo or Milo or whatever, the pedophile guy.
Yeah.
Supposedly he says he did it to set up the
Yeah, he said that he did it because Trump really let him down. He wanted to make Trump miserable. But Nick Fuentes is saying that he was not in on it, and he has no interest in making Trump look bad. And I actually believe Nick Fuentes because Nick Fuentes looks at Trump as his daddy and always has, always will. He never turned on Trump, ever.
Curious if the word time juror.
She's getting a haircut. So, like, the idea that Nick Fuentes would engage in something that would make Trump look bad. I mean, he lacks any and all self-awareness.
Yeah, well, he does the things he does make him look bad. He doesn't affect other people.
Exactly.
So I don't care about any of this. Like, I don't care about Milo's plan. I don't care what Fuentes wanted. I don't even that much care about the dinner, honestly. Because again,
it's just more of the same.
There's just so many things that have been done. What's the difference? Like, oh, it's a good reminder to everyone that Trump is the same person he's always been. But, like, is this somehow supposed to make me think, oh, well, you know, when he said that there were good people on both sides, and Trump, oh, this is worse than us, we apologize for not measure up to that. The Proud Boys stuff, like, he's been the QAnon stuff a million times to get pressure to these insane movements. Yeah, they haven't been on Kanye. Like, yeah, bad, but it would be the worst thing a random person has done. It's the 300th worst thing Trump has ever done.
I guess the only upside to this story is that for the first time you have members of the Republican Party not providing cover for Trump, but actually criticizing him. So, like, McConnell has done the criticism in the past before, not pertaining to Trump's racism. He's never really cared about that. And actually, to that point, someone wrote in our members' comments and said, let's go to that McConnell comment. Basically, that, like, racism has been a Republican strategy forever. You know, like Mitch McConnell, he knows that. But anyway, I do want to quickly go to one other person who's commenting on this and criticizing Trump, and it's Kevin McCarthy. He also made a mild criticism, saying, quote, the president can have meetings with whom he wants, but I don't think anybody can have a meeting with Nick Fuentes. And his views are nowhere within the Republican Party or within the country itself. That is not true. In fact, there was a new study, I want to make sure that I get the stat right here, that showed that 1 in 4 hiring managers say they're less likely to hire Jewish applicants. Oh, so yeah, it apparently does exist in the country to an extent that we should be incredibly uncomfortable with and to want to root out. And then even Netanyahu, a longtime Trump ally, didn't provide cover, but also this criticism isn't strong criticism, and it's gross that it's not strong criticism. He says this. The meeting with Jake Wallace took place. I think it's a mistake. He shouldn't do that. I hope it's not repeated.
Still stand by it. It is repeated. So again, like, okay, credit to whatever Republicans kind of criticized him a little bit for now, but understand they only feel like they can do that because they think maybe DeSantis will be the candidate. If DeSantis dropped out, they would immediately
If Trump beats DeSantis, they will immediately sign it. So this is very conditional, temporary treatment.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has announced an effort to involuntarily commit people who have severe and untreated.
Earlier this week, the chair of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, who you're seeing there, had to explain inflation, which is still high, not as bad as it was.
American worker
Every year.
that you were that productive, but instead of giving it to you, as I showed in the book, it went straight to corporate profit.
New York Mayor Eric Adams has announced an effort to involuntarily commit people who have severe and untreated mental illnesses. And he is facing a lot of backlash as a result. And to be quite clear, the backlash in a lot of ways is accurate because of the vagueness of what he's proposing here, the lack of resources that I'm noticing when it comes to treating mental health patients, and also just the factors necessary to determine whether or not someone should be involuntarily committed. These are questions that need very specific answers to, and unless he can provide those answers, this could be a disaster. But with that said, for everyone who thinks that involuntarily committing someone is always wrong and you should never do it, I do disagree with them. And so let me make my case, beginning with the details of what Eric Adams wants to do. So the effort will involve hospitalizing people involuntarily, even if they do not pose an imminent risk or harm to others. And his argument here is, why do we have to wait for them to hurt others to give them the care that they so desperately need? And I hear you on that, but you also have to balance the fact that people have comorbidities, and it a person's body is very unless the person is violent. This myth must be put to rest. Going forward, we will make every effort to assist those who are suffering from mental illness and whose illness is endangering them by preventing them from meeting their basic human needs. So, it all started with ESC, a doctor, fun fact, the word stock, END, a bestseller. So, I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. We've gotten to the point where a lot of these big cities do have people living on the street suffering from severe mental health issues, partly because we don't have a healthcare system that works. It's a privatized model that price gouges the hell out of people. And if individuals were able to get basic yearly checkup, if people felt comfortable going to the doctor, if they noticed that there's something wrong, there's something going on, maybe they're not feeling so great, that would, in my opinion, solve a lot of this. And we could have prevented getting to the point where we're at now, okay? But with that said, again, I'm not comfortable with, well, I mean, even if the person isn't really posing a threat to anyone else or themselves, we see that they're suffering from severe mental illnesses, we are going to decide that we're going to involuntarily commit them. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm just being honest with you guys. There are instances in which where it does make sense, and I'll get to that in a moment. But let me give you more details about what Eric Adams has said and what he plans on doing. There are other issues as well. So the city said it was roll out training immediately to police officers in the right there. We'll say that again. The city said it was immediately to police officers. Okay, the NYPD has not been enforcing anything. A lot of the issues that we have with the NYPD persist. So, okay, we're talking about training. What does that training entail? Because the idea of having the NYPD respond to people who are suffering from severe mental health issues is also people that properties, but also citizens. So, immediately to police officers, or to medical services staff, and other medical personnel to ensure compassionate care. But the thing we directed on the prosecuting officers that case law does not provide extensive guidance regarding removals for mental health evaluation based on short-term actions in the field. So you guys right? I mean, I don't need to spell it out to you. When it comes to the period, as the father of we need to be very clear about what the factors are, how do we determine that someone is a risk to themselves and to others. The idea of just having to be determined, that person looks like they might have a mental health issue, let's involve her with them. That doesn't sound like a good idea. We need specific police. We're not doing.
The emergency service started coming in just minutes after the
Six people have died in yet another mass shooting. This so I'm sorry. Yes, 6 people so far have been reported. It's reported that they have died as a result. Now, officers were dispatched to an active threat situation, according to CBS News, at the Walmart Supercenter at 10:12 p.m. local time. Keep in mind, the stores are super busy with people shopping for Thanksgiving. Officers were on the scene within 2 minutes, entered the store 2 minutes after that, and within just about an hour, they had cleared the store.
A bad time to get lost, friend.
Now, there's still a lack of clarity in regards to the
You'll need to do better than that.
victims, but we know 2 of them at least.
Guess it's all clear now.
2 victims and the gunman were found dead in the store's break room, city officials said Wednesday afternoon. Another victim was found dead toward the front of the store. 3 died at area hospitals. At least 6 other people were receiving treatment at hospitals, and 1 was in critical condition. So there's still a possibility, assuming that the individual in critical condition doesn't improve, there's still some possibility that there could be yet another victim, another person dies as a result of yet another mass shooting, this time again in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, authorities again believe that he
Need something?
He took his own life after opening fire and killing 6 people. They also say that he had a pistol on him. That is what they found at the scene. Walmart also confirmed that the individual, the suspect here, the person who opened fire, was a Walmart night shift manager. So he had been working at that Walmart since 2010. And Walmart released a statement about that, stating, quote, "The alleged shooter has been identified as Andre Biggs. We can confirm that he was a Walmart associate. Andre's position with the company was overnight team lead, and he's been employed with us since 2010. Now, what's interesting about what we're hearing from his coworkers is that he seems to, be mercurial at best and threatening at worst. So let me give you their statement so you can get an understanding of how coworkers actually felt about this guy. One person said this, he said a lot of different things, said Doña Veronica. He said, that's one employee explaining what she had experienced during this mass shooting. But another one of his former coworkers who actually worked at this particular Walmart between 2015 and 2018 said that he seemed to be a loner, and he also seemed to have some paranoid thoughts. He was always saying the government was watching. He didn't like social media. Same, but that doesn't encourage me to open fire and kill innocent people, but let me continue. He didn't like social media, and he had black tape on his phone camera. Everyone always thought something was wrong with him. Yeah, look, inevitably, when these mass shootings happen, there's some contingent of the right wing that wants to pivot away from any discussion about gun legislation, so they'll start talking about why didn't anyone say something? If it was suspicious, why didn't anyone say something? But so far, suspicious of the government, same. He put tape on his iPhone camera, which, considering the surveillance that takes place in this country by corporation and the government, I don't think that's a crazy idea. And, he didn't like social media. Seems like he didn't want to be surveilled. So far, I'm not hearing anything suspicious about it, but let's continue. Joshua Johnson, who worked as maintenance worker at the store until 2019, also told CNN Bing had previously issued ominous threats there if he ever lost his job. He said if he ever got fired.
Lab-grown diamonds at the Jewelry Exchange.
I saw like the barrel of a gun like poked into the patio room. I saw just the tip of it, and it was at that point that I legitimately thought I was about to get shot.
Michael Anderson was working as a bartender at the Q nightclub in Colorado Springs, which unfortunately was the target of a mass shooting. 5 people died as a result. Dozens of others are injured, some of whom are currently in critical condition. Now, what we know so far is that the suspect used an AR-15 style rifle. The shooting took place over the weekend on Saturday night, and authorities have placed the shooter in custody. He was injured and is currently in the hospital, but is facing 10 felony charges, including murder and hate crime related charges. Now, why would they charge him with a hate crime? Well, it's because of the fact that Q nightclub is an LGBTQ nightclub in Colorado Springs. The mass shooting occurred just before the Transgender Day of Remembrance on November 20th, an annual observance that honors the memory of the transgender people whose lives were lost in acts of anti-transgender violence, according to GLAAD. Now, the suspected shooter has been taken into custody, and it turns out that a bar patron, or as many as 2 bar patrons, were able to subdue him. As people were running out of the club, 2 others decided to run toward the shooter, and they managed to subdue him. In fact, in the next video, you're going to hear from Mayor John Suthers of Colorado Springs, who says that the person who subdued him is a hero. Let's watch.
The call came into the police at 11:57 p.m. Police were on the scene by 12, an amazingly quick response. This incident was over by 12:02, and that's largely because of the intervention of at least 1, possibly 2 very heroic individuals who subdued this guy. Appears to have taken his handgun. He had the handgun with him, and used it to disable him. And so, not shoot him, but to hit him with the gun and disable him. But for that, as tragic as this incident is, it's a horrible crime. It could have been much, much worse, but for these heroic actors.
So if it weren't for those 2 nightclub patrons subduing him, he could have killed more people. Now, of the 25 individuals who are injured, 19 of them are suffering from gunshot wounds, and authorities have identified the 22-year-old shooter, Anderson Lee Aldridge, who had at least 2 firearms with him, one of which was the AR-15 style rifle, the other was a handgun. Here are a few more details about the suspect from CNN.
Identified the suspected shooter as 22-year-old Anderson Lee Eldridge. Police say he entered the club just before midnight on Saturday and began shooting immediately with a long rifle. 2 weapons were found at the scene. More details are emerging about the suspected shooter, including a 2021 arrest for felony menacing and first-degree kidnapping, according to the police at the time, after his mother says he threatened her with a homemade bomb and other weapons.
Now, there are murky details about the run-in with police that he had in 2021. For instance, we know that he had 5 felony charges, but the prosecutor, the district attorney, decided against prosecuting him. His mother was the one who called the police on him. She was later posting on social media, asking for help to find legal counsel for her son. But that's what we know so far. I have a few other details to share, but Cenk, I want to get your thoughts first.
Yeah, so every person who is a right-winger who advocated again for laws against LGBTQ folks is guilty. Every religious person who said that homosexuality is a sin is guilty. So now, important caveat, I was religious. I know what religion's like. I know what growing up with religion's like. And so I know that not all of you meant it in a hateful way. You were taught. But I'm here to be honest with you. You were brainwashed. You were brainwashed into this hatred. And you keep saying it over and over and over again. You know what's wrong with homosexuality?
16-year-old male is conscious, is breathing, a gunshot wound. Serious bleeding.
When officers arrived at the Chesapeake Walmart, they quickly realized that they were dealing with a mass shooting incident.
6 people have died in yet another mass shooting this week alone. And with the way things have been going, 2022 is a record-breaking year when it comes to gun violence. I'll tell you the numbers and statistics in just a moment, but first the details of this shooting, which took place at a Walmart in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, the gunman appears to have turned the gun onto himself. He took his own life, which means the total number of deaths is 7. But in terms of the number of victims he shot and killed, 6 people. Six people so far have been reported. It's reported that they have died as a result. Now, officers were dispatched to an active threat situation, according to CBS News, at the Walmart Supercenter at 10:12 p.m. local time. Keep in mind, the stores are super busy shopping for Thanksgiving. Officers were on the scene within 2 minutes, entered the store 2 minutes after that, and within just about an hour, they had cleared the store and located all of the victims. Now, there is still a lot of clarity in regard to the identities of all the victims, but we do know about 2 of them at least at the moment. 2 victims and the gunman were found dead in the store's break room, the official said Wednesday afternoon. Another victim was found dead toward the front of the store.
Think you can take me?
Area hospitals. At least 6 other people were receiving treatment in hospitals. So there's still a possibility, assuming that the individual in critical condition doesn't improve, there's still some possibility that there could be yet another victim, another person who died as a result of yet another mass shooting, this time again in Chesapeake, Virginia. Now, authorities again believe that he took his own life after opening fire and killing 6 people. They also say that he had a pistol on him. That is what they found at the scene. Walmart also confirmed that the individual, the suspect here, the person who opened fire, was a Walmart night shift manager. So he had been working at that Walmart since 2010. And Walmart did release a statement about that, stating, quote, "The alleged shooter has been identified as Andre Big. We can confirm that he was a Walmart associate. Andre's position with the company was overnight team lead, and he's been employed with us since 2010. Now, what's interesting about what we're hearing from his coworkers is that he seemed to be mercurial at best and threatening at worst. So let me give you their statement so you can get an understanding of how his coworkers actually felt about this guy. One person said this, he said a lot of disturbing things, said Donia Hirolu, who said she was in the employee break room when Bing entered and unexpectedly opened fire. Bing came in, shot 3 of my friends before I took off running, she said. Half of us didn't believe it was real until some of us saw all the blood on the floor. I mean, just think about how incredibly traumatic that is. So that's one employee just explaining what she had experienced during this mass shooting. But another one of his former coworkers, who actually worked at this particular Walmart between 2015 and 2018, said that he seemed to be a loner, and he also seemed to have some paranoid thoughts. He was always saying the government was watching him. He didn't like social media. I mean, same, but that doesn't encourage me to open fire and kill innocent people, but let me continue. He didn't like social media, and he kept black tape on his phone camera. Everyone always thought something was wrong with him. Yeah, I mean, look, inevitably, when these mass shootings happen, there's some contingent of the right wing that wants to pivot away from any discussion about gun legislation, so they'll start talking about, why didn't anyone say something? I mean, if he was suspicious, why didn't anyone say something? But so far, I mean, he was suspicious of the government, same. He put tape on his iPhone camera, which, considering the surveillance that takes place in this country by corporations and the government, I think that's a crazy idea.
No sign of it.
And, he was like social media. Seems like he didn't want to be surveilled. So far, I'm not hearing anything too suspicious about it, but let's continue. Joshua Johnson, who worked as maintenance worker at the store until 2019, also told CNN Bing had previously issued ominous threats there with him if he ever lost his job. He said if he ever got fired from his job, he would retaliate and people would remember who he was.
That darn elf wants to go on ahead, let him. Better than... Huh? Time to end this little game.
I want to be clear that we still do not know what the motive is. This investigation is ongoing. In the coming days, we're going to learn more details about the gunman. I'm sure we're going to learn more details about, maybe his political views, whatever it is. But as of yet, we have not really heard much from the authorities in regard to what the possible motives are. It's also worth noting, by the way, that gun violence is at a record high in this country this year. I'm not saying that. The stats are saying that. So for all of the crime deniers, just sit down, take a deep breath, and get a load of the statistics I'm about to read you. Because are we going to do anything about this? I mean, anyway. According to data compiled by the Gun Violence Archive, there have been more than 600 mass shootings in the United States this year, with at least 36 resulting in fatalities.
No sign.
A criminologist at Northeastern University in Boston, his name's Alan Fox, who has compiled data on shootings in the U.S. for decades, reported the same figure, which he said had made 2022 a record year for such attacks. Even prior to the incident at the Walmart in Chesapeake. Wow, he must be he must be a propagandist. I mean, anyone who draws attention to record violence in the country is clearly a cop. Clearly.
Better than us.
We should hide this. We should hide this. Because, God forbid, it stands in the way of whatever non-profit criminal justice reform organizations are getting involved in. So let's just turn a blind eye to this, right? I've been studying mass killings for over 40 years, and I am quite confident that there has never been a year where we've had so many. So, gun violence is part of the crime rate that, for some reason,
what you gonna do, huh? What you gonna do?
Pretend like is not happening, and it's driving me crazy because it is happening. Innocent people are dying. Innocent people are being assaulted. Innocent people are being murdered.
No sign of him.
So when you are lucky enough to live in a state that's somewhat sane when it comes to gun policies, you probably enforce those gun laws, right? So if you're concerned about gun violence, if you want to keep the community safe, someone who gets caught committing a crime with an illegal gun should probably face consequences, right? For being in possession of that illegal weapon as they're committing a crime. Enhancement.
No sign of it.
And our prosecutor here doesn't like that. So illegal gun charges just kind of fall by the wayside. In a state that's supposed to proudly brag